To install VMware vCenter, you now have to download this ISO file from VMware. Once you have it downloaded, you'll need to mount it on your local system or extract all the contents to a folder on your local computer. I have it mounted here. Go to the UI installer folder. Select your system as appropriate. I'm on a Mac, but if you're in Windows, select Win32. So I'm going to go into the Mac folder and launch the installer app. The vCenter 7 installer shows up. So in this new window, we'll want to hit the Install tab. And we'll go through the wizard. So we are going to deploy a new vCenter server, so we'll hit Next. I read through the EULA. Step 3 is to say where you want to deploy the vCenter server to. If you do not have an existing vSphere environment, you'll need to deploy it directly to a host, or if you do have an existing environment, you'll want to put in your vCenter server information. I'm going to a greenfield install, so I need to put in the IP information for an existing host that I've installed earlier. Make sure you also put in the correct login information. Then hit Next. Accept the fingerprint. Now we need to put the information in for the vCenter server that you are deploying. So this is for the new one. Set the root password. Go to the next page. This is where you select the deployment size. So there's this handy table that lets you know based on how you expect your environment to grow, which vCenter server size you should select. For me, I'm going to have a fairly large environment because I'm going to have a lot of VMs in this VDI environment. So I'm going to select the deployment size of large. If you're not sure, always go a tad larger than what you think. Then hit the Next button. Here's where you select which storage device you want your vCenter server to be deployed to. Mine is this one right here. Then hit Next. Then you need to configure all of your virtual networking information for your vCenter server. So this is inputting the new IP information for your vCenter server that you're deploying right now. Then hit Next. Then review the information and make sure it is correct and hit Finish. Then let the process run, and then we'll come back once it's complete. So that was stage 1. Now we need to go to stage 2 by hitting the Continue button. Select the Next button. Configure the time synchronization. I'm going to put in an actual NTP server. And I want to enable SSH access in my environment. Hit Next. Either create or join an existing SSO domain. For me, I'm going to go ahead and just use the default vSphere.local, and then put in the password for the administrator account. Select the Next button. If you want to join the Customer Experience Improvement Program, check or uncheck the box depending on your preference, and then hit Next. Confirm the information and hit Finish. Select the OK button because you will not be able to stop the configuration once you start it. Then we'll need to wait for the setup to complete. Once stage 2 is complete, you can now use your vCenter server. There's a link here, or just go to the IP address in a web browser. Since it's the first time this vCenter server is being accessed, it's using a self-signed certificate, so we need to make sure that that's okay and accept the risk. And then launch the vSphere client in HTML5. This allows you to log in. And access your brand new vCenter server.